Hello student, today I am going to discuss about one of the topic of subject web technology, and the topic name is abstract window toolkit. Basically this topic is used to create a Java program, GUI based Java program. So let's we start. So what is the AWT? Is a abstract window toolkit. Basically it is a set of classes by which we can create any Java application which is graphical user interface. And with the help of this set of classes, it is easy to develop any Java application on based on GUI, that is graphical user interface. Now, first of all, going to start any application, we must understand what is the AWT hierarchy, what is the class hierarchy is there. So, the top of the hierarchy is a component class, and then we have many other classes by which we will create the object to create a Java application. Now, component is the base class, it is an abstract class. Then we have a container class, and the container we have two different types of classes. One is window and second is the panel class. And one more subclass of the window is the frame class. So, one by one we will learn about each of these classes. So, container class is the responsible for laying out the components. So here we are talking about the components like text box, buttons, labels. These are the components. So whenever you try to put these components in any GUI application, backend we have a container class in which all these components will be laying out. Now these component, how will you display these components? So there are various ways to display these components. One is from the horizontal way, second is from the vertical way. So we need a something that will control whether you want to display in the horizontal and vertical way. So one of the concept, or you can say one of the software, is layout manager. It is basically a type of class which manage, or you can say control, how the components will be displayed in the container object. Next is the panel class. So basically it is a window that does not contain a title bar, menu bar and border. I think you have experience in window operating system. Whenever we are creating a window, it has a title bar, it has a menu bar and border also, and many other things are attached. But if you creating an object of the panel and you want to display in a Java application, it will not contain any title bar, any other accessories of the windows. So it is just a panel, just to draw something on this window, and basically it is a super class of the applet. So we already learned the applet in my earlier video. So when you create the applet, automatically the panel class will be included because it is the super class. So applet is the subclass of the panel, and panel is included in the applet. So when we output any screen output to the applet, it is drawn basically on the panel object. So when we create the object of the applet, so basically we are writing anything. One more thing, applet is also it is a type of GUI based application. So if you draw anything, you write anything on the text box, or you can say text box, labels and buttons and many other components, basically you are drawing on the panel. So in this slide, it is need to understand that when we are creating an applet, basically indirectly we are creating the object of the panel, which is responsible for writing all the components. Next we have the window class. So it has the window which is similar that we are looking in the window operating system, and basically it is a top level window, and it is directly on the desktop. And basically we are generally not working on the window object directly, and we are working on the frame object, which is the subclass of the window. So because frame consists of many refined methods to work on the window GUI based application. Now we have the frame class. So frame class basically the subclass of the window, and it has a title bar, menu bar and resizing corners. So here I want to just give the difference between the panel and frame class is that panel does not have any title bar, menu borders and resizing corners. In case of window, or you can say in case of frame object, we have everything like title bar, menu and borders and many other equipments which are needed to create in window. So here must up to this slide you must get the difference between the panel class and the frame class. Now one more class is available to writing on the GUI application, or you can say drawing on the GUI application, and one this class is the canvas class. It is even though not mentioned in the hierarchy, but this class will available for your working. So basically it is not the part of applet hierarchy that I discussed frame window. There is one more type is class is called the canvas. So canvas it is just like a blank window on which you can draw anything. So if you are not going for with the hierarchy, you can take the object of this canvas and you can draw anything on this blank window. Whenever you need it, you can use this class. So till now we have understand this hierarchy is the component. Component basically is the abstract class, and it is the or you can say super class. Then we have many other classes for the working. So whenever you are going to write anything on the GUI based application, you must know the container container class. You must have a container object. So basically you are going either side window side, or you are going with the panel side. If you are going with the window side, we have a title bar, menu bar, and other accessories that is needed for creating the window. In case of panel, we does not have any title bar and menu bar. So these are two major subclasses under the container class. Next is what are the components, or you can say what are the controls that you are going to work in a GUI based application. So controls are the components that allow to user to interact with your application in various ways. For example, button is a control. When we click on the button, then the GUI application will behave something different way. So user will interacting with the controls, or you can say the users are interacting with the components. So similarly, we have a text boxes, we have a buttons, and we have a labels, and we have a drop down menu. These are all our components which are needed for any GUI application. So we call them controls, one word. Now, when we have created many controls and we want to put in a GUI based application, the major part is where you are going to display the controls. Either you are going to display in the horizontal way, vertical way. There are two different ways for displaying the controls. So the concept will come with the layout manager. So basically it is also a type of class which will position your controls on the GUI application. And there are default layout manager is available, which will position your controls from horizontal to from left to right in horizontal way and top to bottom. You can change it with the calling the constructor of a layout manager. So there is a separate class for what are the different types of layout manager. Here we are concentrating on creating a GUI based Java application. Now, the appearance of a window is determined with the combination of controls that it contains and the layout manager used to position them. Now, what are the AWT controls which are basically supported by these AWT classes? So these are some common controls are available. We have the label, very simple, write something just in front of the text box or before the text box, then we can use the labels. We have a buttons, we have a check boxes, we have a choice list, and we have a list, we have a scroll bars, we have a radio buttons, we have a text editors. So there are many controls are available, and very important point to understand that all these are the classes. All these are the classes. So if you want to put a label in a Java GUI based application, then you need to create the object of the label class, then it will be created. So basically these are controls of subclasses of the component class that we recently understand. Now one important point, it may happen you have created a GUI based Java application and are running in a DOS operating system which is not supporting any GUI application. So an exception will occur, and this type of exception is called headless exception. So when an attempt is made to instantiate GUI component in a non-interactive environment, such as one which has no display, mouse and keyboard, because these are necessary for any GUI application. In that case, this type of exception will occur. So you should know about if you are working creating a GUI application, what type of exception will occur if these accessories are not available in any system. Now is a very important part, creating a GUI based Java application. So here I am giving the example related to the applet, because applet itself is a GUI application. Here how we'll use the AWT in the applet. So to use the AWT, first of all we have to include the AWT package, awt.star. Then we need to include the applet class also. Now to create an applet, we are using the name of the applet is label demo and extend the applet. So this part is important. So I am demonstrating GUI Java based application with the help of the applet. Here we are going to use AWT controls. In the applet, one important method is init. Meaning is that when we are creating a GUI based application applet, init method will be called immediately. This is the first method which will be called. Now in this init method meaning is that when we are creating the applet, at the same time 3 label will be created. The name of the first label is 1, second label is 2 and third label is 3. Now important point to understand that these are the objects of class label. It is possible only because of we have included the AWT package, that is which already consists of many classes supporting the GUI application. Now we have created an object 1 and with the help of constructor of the class label, and we have given internal name 1 ONE1. So this is the name that will be displayed. So a label will be created and it will display like this way, and internal name will be this one, ONE. So whenever you are accessing in the program, you can change it, there's no problem. Here you can write anything like label is to your name, you can write the name here. So the label become name. So it is your choice that you want to display it. So these are the objects and here the value that will display. That will display to the user. Okay. So these are two differences. You must know it. So we have created 3 labels. After creating the object of 3 labels, our job is to display in the applet. So you need to add, or you can say you need to include in the applet. So we have to call the method add and pass the name of the object. So we are calling 3 times and passing the 3 object 1, 2, 3. So the applet will be, when the applet will create, it will display all 3 names. So one of the demo is, you can see this is the first label, this is the second label, this is the 3 label. So when you run the applet, these 3 controls, that is 3 labels will display in applet GUI appearance, in the GUI appearance. Next is to creating the buttons. The first program that I explained is related to creating the labels, and this second program is to creating the buttons. So the same way we need to include the packages. This time we have also included the event. It is just for demonstration purpose. We need to include the event handling concept also, because it is a button. When we click on the button, something should be happened. So just for demonstration, we have used awt.event, even though awt.star will already included everything. So these are the code we already discussed in an applet, my applet video. We need to include this for the compatibility purpose so that it can run immediately. Now we have created the class of Java button demo and extend the applet. So up to this part, we have created an applet class and name of the class is button demo. Now I want to implement some event handling in this applet. Then we need to include some event handling listener. So we use the implements and implement the action listener interface. So up to this part, this class is enabled to include AWT controls, as well as this class will also handle the events. That is, when we click on the button, it will handle it, it will listen it. So I just created a variable message to display the message. Then we have created 3 button object: yes, no, and maybe. You can see it is a class button. So 3 object of button is created, but right now these buttons are not initialized, it is just created. Now in the init method, which is the part of the applet, in this init method we are creating this already created button object, or you can say we are initializing already created this button objects. So we have used this object yes, and we are using new button is the constructor, and on the button what will display, that we are going to write in this double quotes. So the button will be created here, and this yes is the string that will display here, and its internal name is yes. It is in my demo. You can give a different name as per your choice. Okay. So it is just mentioned in my demo. That's why I am clarifying it. This is the object. This is the string that will display on the button. Next, similarly, we have created no and maybe button, or you can say we have initialized it, and the name on this button that will be displayed, this is the string no, and in the maybe button, the name that will display on the button is undecided. So we have initialized all these 3 buttons. Our next job is to add these buttons in the applet. So very simple method, as in the previous example, just use this add method and pass the object name yes, no, and maybe, and these buttons will be added in the applet window, or you can say GUI based Java application. Up to this level it is okay, your button will be displayed. But when you click on the button, nothing will happen, because till now we have not implemented event handling concept. We need to register each button so that the button can receive the click event. So for that purpose, we have taken the yes button and we use the method add action listener. It is the method to register the event handling of action. When we click on some button, this program will listen it, and we are passing this object because this program is for the listener also. So this program will generate the event, as well as this program will listen the event also. So similarly, we are adding the event handling concept in this second button is no, and with the help of calling the method add action listener, and this is the current object, that is, it is the same program. Similarly, in the maybe object, we have also registered the event handling listener, which is called the action listener. So up to this program, when you run the program, you are able to click on each button. So when you click on each button, it is important, it must perform some job. So we need to write a separate method in which our program will go to that control and it will execute some statements. So there is a method action perform. So when you click on any button like yes button, no button, and maybe button, for user it will display undecided for the maybe button. So your program control will come here, action perform. It is a predefined method, and which is already defined in this action listener interface. We are redefining this method action perform. So when we click on any of the button, it will reach to this action perform method and receive this event in this object AE. And we need to find out which button has been clicked. So we are calling the method get action command with the help of the object that we received. And this action command will return which button has been clicked. So if any of the button has been clicked, its display name will come in the str. Okay, so we need to, with the help of the display name, we can easily find out which button has been clicked. So thus we are checking whether the yes button has been clicked. If the yes button has been clicked, it will display you press the yes. If no button has been clicked, it will display you press no. If undecided, you press undecided. Otherwise, it is by default, we are now checking the third button. So we can check it also, there is no problem. We are assuming if yes button and no button has not been clicked, then undecided button has been clicked. Therefore, we are putting in the else part. So any button if you click, it will check it whether it has been checked yes button, no button, yeah, undecided button. Accordingly, it will display the message. And to display the message, we repaint the applet. It is necessary, otherwise your message will not display. So we repaint the applet. So whatever the message you are going, it will go to the paint method, and the message which is updated will be displayed on the applet. So I just repeating it again just for your understanding purpose. Action perform method is a one method, common method for all three buttons. When we click on any button, it will reach particular string will come, the display of on the button will come in the str, and accordingly it will check. So when you run this program, you can click on the yes, it will display you press yes. When you click on the no, it will press no. And if you press undecided, it will display you have pressed undecided buttons. So this is the two program that I discuss, which is very fundamental, and it is give very good understanding how to create a GUI based application with the help of AWT abstract toolkit. Next, just quickly I am repeating, if you are going to demonstrate the text field. So everything is same. To creating a text field, we are using the text field here. We are using the text field here. So a text field will be created. Here we are going to create the name and passwords. You can type your name and you can type the password. And we have created one button also to display the name, whatever you type, and display the or you can say password, whatever you type. Now, very important, the password will, if whatever the password you type, it will not display. So we are making set echo with the help of the question mark. Next, all these things are attached. That is, here you can see these are the labels that I discussed in my first program. The label will display name and password. Then we are displaying the display button also. So here you can see these are the text field, name and pass. So the fifth one is the button, is the disp. So we are using the disp here, and now we are adding the action. We are adding the action in the text box, first text box. We are adding the action in the second text box, and we are adding the action in the display also. So whatever you type, the action will be performed. It will go to the action perform. And when we click on the button, again it will go to the action perform. So here you can see action perform. If you click on the button, it will come here. If you click on the text box, then again it will come here. If you're doing something, it will come here, action perform method, which is predefined. Here we are getting which command has been clicked. So here it is the explanation related to the button. So we have collected the string, whether the display button has been pressed or not. If the display button is pressed, then it just repaint it. If you not press the display button, if you type something, so it will go to the draw string. Whatever you type, it will take the text box. Whatever you type, take the text, and it will display in the applet. Similarly, you can select a particular text also. So if you selected some text, it will collect the selected text and it will display on the applet. And if you whatever the password you type, it will collect the password and display the password also. So in this program, basically we are focusing on the display button. When we click on the display button, whatever is happened in the text boxes will be captured with the help of the drawstring and will display on the applet. So you look for an example here. We have typed the name Amit Sharma and password we have given something. When we click on the display button, it will displaying the Amit Sharma. Now Sharma is only selected. So here we have using the selected text, get selected text. So whatever is selected will be extracted with the help of get selected text, and it will be displayed with the help of drawstring in that with the help of name is the label. So it is going to display here selected text box in name is the Sharma and the password is there. So it is just displaying many things. It is displaying how to use the text boxes, and it is also talking about the labels. It is also talking about the buttons. When you click on the button, what will happen? And one major part is for understanding. You can select some text and you can extract only the part of the text and you can display it. So this is an example that is demonstrating the text boxes also. Okay, so till now I have discussed about three major programs. So one is related to the labels, and the second is related to the button, and third we just mix everything. We have the labels, text boxes as well as button also, and we have also included in last two program event handling, how to include the event handling, because event handling is the major part of any GUI based application. So we have demonstrated how to include the text boxes and how to work on the buttons, how to work on the event handling in the GUI based Java application. I hope you like this video. Thank you very much.